Good afternoon, everyone. I am Cristela Sejodo, BTL3 student, and I am your host for today. So now, let me introduce to you. She is one among millions of students who experience this new learning setup.
Hi everyone, good day. So I am Angela Abalye and I am an IT student from University of Cebu.
Thank you, Miss Abalye.
So I have here 5 questions, and I want to know more insights about this. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So here is the first question. So here is the fact that our educational system are changing into a new normal setup. Can I have your insights about this, wherein it gives more advantage and disadvantages on students like you?
So let me answer your first question. So let's talk first about the disadvantage. For me as a student to experience the new normal setup and the changing of my educational environment in an instance due to pandemics. The problems or the disadvantage that I encounter are first is my internet connection. So wherein I have to make sure that I have a good or stable internet connection for my class so that I wouldn't be marked absent. Second is that the noisy environment because even though we are doing our class at home, it is not guaranteed that you will have what do you call this um educational environment thing at your house because you're living inside your house. That means they're noisy and it makes you uncomfortable during class hours. My third is that technical problems. So when you encounter problems like let's say your microphone or your video is not working well, then your advisors would really think that you're not attentive to the class and they will tell you things that are not really suitable for them to say, and it makes it like they're blaming you for the errors. And other thing is that other disadvantage is that unrecorded lessons or even recorded lessons, but it won't be uploaded. They won't upload it like in the Google Classroom. So it's difficult for me to catch up to the lessons they are teaching, especially if I have a problem with my internet. So sometimes I ask them if they could give a copy for me to catch up and re rewind or review, but they will just say it's up to me because it was my fault for being unattentive, which is not. Fifth, since we are at home, it cannot be avoided that we will be asked to do the house chores, and sometimes if we will not be able to finish it, it's chaos. So for the advantage is that I can spend more time with my family. So I can go out. I can go out and do some more errands, especially like this recently I was doing I keep going to university to get my paperworks done because I'm a graduating student, and then I can just attend my class through phones while traveling. I can spend. It's also other advantages that it helps me spend less. It comes to money because I don't have to keep traveling back and forth from home to university, vice versa, because I just have to stay at home. It does not cost me time to travel. I can spend more time with my pets, which I always wanted, which is always like my favorite thing to do. And then I can study more at home, and then it makes it more convenient for me to do some research. So yeah, I guess that's my insights for my disadvantage and advantages.
Okay, that's a brilliant idea. So now let's move on to the second question. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So everyone is new to normal learning setup, which are blended learning through modular and virtual classes. Is it helpful to students like you to learn in this way? Are technology helpful in this learning?
For me, as a student or product of the new learning setup, which are blended learning and through modular class or virtual classes. And for me, I do have virtual classes. So I always have my class online through Google Meet, Zoom, or any other app communication application that we have. So for me, at first it wasn't helpful because when I have my online class, it was a very new experience to me, not seeing my friends, not seeing my teachers, and studying individually through online is difficult because when I have things, I have to ask some questions. I could not poke my friends on the side, like, hey, can I ask what is this? What is the meaning of this? I couldn't ask that right away. Instead, I have to message them through Messenger, which is very famous now. So I ask them through that now, and it takes more like how many minutes or an hours before they can reply. But when I was able to adjust, especially when I have no, I mean, yeah, especially when I have adjusted, uh, especially when I adjusted, I don't really encounters. I mean, I encountered a lot of problems, but recently I can manage it. So because every day you learn new things, especially in how to operate your, how to operate just to have your class working well. But if you were, but at first I wasn't having a good day because I have to make sure that everything is well prepared, because if not they will tell you you're not doing your preparations ahead. uh, Technology helps me in learning even though I have to do self study, because more research, I have to do more research for me to understand the topic, but not so long because too much exposure brings me problems, especially with my eyes. It just tears me up every time I expose my eyes too much, and I have to wear glass just to keep up and expose my eyes more with the uh, with doing my activities that it will take me like 24 hours doing, especially with my degree, which involves a lot of technical thing, doing some works through computers. So yeah, that's my experience.
Yes. So now let's move on to the third question. What are the struggles or difficulties you encounter into this new learning setup? How does it affect your mental health?
So for me, the what do you call this? Third question was like, what are the struggles or difficulties? So for me, internet connection is one of the problems I mostly encounter every day. It is really the biggest problem. I always tell my professors like, sir, I don't have good internet connection. My connection is unstable. Could I disconnect? Could I connect or whatever is that? But one of the major problems for me as a student is my family. Since you're doing your online class at home, you cannot really avoid not to see your family when they're arguing, and it involves you even though you don't have to do anything with it, but as a part of a family you will be really involved in whatever problems they have. So let's say it gives you more pressure, depression, stress, thinking that even though you're a student you have to think of the problems inside your home, because you're not a stranger. So it affects the mental health very bad, especially if you see your family is not supporting you in your studies. Like, yeah, let's say they support you financially but not emotionally. So it gives pressure, and when they see you're not, like, let's just say you're chilling, even though when you're done doing your activities they say you're incompetent, you're not doing something, and that gives more stress and it pressures, because you're the one experiencing the new learning setup, which is difficult. And then um so and also my advice is that Even though you are depressed, stressed, or pressured, be brave because no one else can help you throughout the day. Make sure you find yourself a way to calm yourself just to be able to cope up because no one can help yourself. No one can help yourself but only ourselves. I don't know if it's right, but I don't know if I'm just going to the same bush, but yeah, that's what my insights and my advice to everyone who's experiencing mental health. Hmm, I guess that's it.
So next, we have our fourth question. If giving a chance to bring back the new normal learning, what do you think may help the students to gain more knowledge in their future life? Is it the traditional way before or by the learning setup today? What way did students help themselves to discover their new learning?
When the time comes that the physical class will be implemented soon, I don't know how would be they able to cope up with it because as I've noticed, they don't do their thing for high school. I've noticed they do their part, they do their responsibility, but most of them are depending on their classmates. They depend if the classmates have provided them answers. If they have been given the answers, then they made it. They can make it a day before the submission. For college, that new learning setup is not advisable, especially those courses that has relations to field activities like medical team or engineering and etc. Anything that involves related to like buildings, health, they are not advisable to take the new setup because you wouldn't learn a thing just by learning through online. You need to experience it by your own hands, by your own eyes, because you're doing the foundations. And if you learn it online, I don't know what thing could you do when it comes to the future. So if given the chance to have the traditional way of learning is that they should comply to whatever requirements. Right now, they are asking students to take their vaccinations just to be able to get to the university or inside the school campuses. So because it is them who will gain the result of their learning and not the people who surrounds them. Like I say, parents would not be able to benefit the knowledge of their child. The child should be able to learn the thing. It should be the child who should be able to learn the thing because it is them who will be using it, not the parents. And then it should be best if they have it more traditional than online as they wouldn't be able to experience and gain the proper knowledge related to their future profession. So you cannot just say, okay, I'll do that later, I'll do that then, I'll do that for any time, let's say tomorrow or whatever. But it's not advisable because you're just making your child lazy. You're just making yourself lazy. Just like me. Before for the new setup, I was lazy. I was lazy because I keep thinking, oh, I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to go to university. I don't have to wait for transportation just to go to the city and going back home. So I guess that's my insight about new normal setup and if they have to bring and if was given a chance to bring back the traditional way of learning.
So exactly. Now we have last question here. Here it is. We all know that we encounter difficulties in our studies in this new normal setting. What can you advise to those students who dream to succeed in life through studying wisely and intelligently?
Okay, so my advice to those students now who is under the new learning setup is that they should study more. Don't be lazy. Be responsible for your actions. Don't be rushed on things, especially on what you see on social media. As day goes by, people will judge you for your actions and your appearance. Even though you're not doing anything, people might judge you. Uh, and then be professionals even when you are young, because that's one way to practice yourself for the future and enjoy yourself. Because enjoy yourself, be happy on what makes you comfortable. And then for the future, just do what you love. And because as we grow older, as day goes by, we are not getting younger. Our age is not getting younger. We're getting older. We don't decrease our age as what we wish. If we wish we can go back to those ages. No, we are moving forward. So, you should also move forward, especially with your studies. Either it's new normal setup or traditional way, just find a way to make sure you know what you're doing and what makes you happy and comfy in doing your kind of studying. And just go on, be wise, that's all.
Thank you so much, Miss Abalier, for spending a little time with me answering these 5 questions about our new learning setup. Based from your shared experience and also the experience of others, um, you mentioned about the disadvantage and advantage of every students in their new learning setup, which are the disadvantage are the following: internet connection problem, the noisy environment, the technical problem, the unrecorded meetings, and also the house chores. Those are the disadvantages that mostly um, students nowadays are facing, and we can't deny the fact that it is really happening in our environment now. Angela also mentioned the advantages that brought the new normal setup of learning in our lives. So she can spend more time with her family, she can spend less in terms of money. So there's also a time management wherein we can give enough time to study, we can give more time, spending more time with our family, and then we can just manage ourselves and manage our time, and we should be more positive in all times. Her struggles also in this new setup of learning are the internet connection, which is also rampant for all of the students, and also the family problems, which will be the cause of stress, pressures of all the student struggles and problems in life has its purpose. So God give it to us because He knows that we can handle it. So we should accept the truth, the fact, and we should submit to God everything that we have been encountered in our daily lives. Everyone has its struggles and problems in life. So for my advice, we should need to be practical in making decisions, and we should always think positive things, and we should also control our emotions, our think the way we think, because with it we can do good things better with even when we are in the midst of pandemic. So this day ends with a great fruit of journey. So thank you, Miss Angelo, for giving us enough time to answer these questions about your own experiences in this new learning setup. I've learned a lot from it, and it is very beneficial for all of us students. So thank you very much. A nice day and goodbye, everyone.